Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody. We are the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. This is podcast number 307. As always, I'm joined by the bros, the XoneBros. He is the man that has a lot of controls at his fingertips and hence a lot of power. He is Mr. McSpicy.
Hey.
Next is Jordan the Man.
Hello.
Hi, Jordan.
Hello.
And last but not least, I am X1. We are the XoneBros. It is so good to be here. It's so good to be hanging out. Hope everybody is staying safe. Hope you're staying healthy. Hope you're enjoying yourself and playing lots of games. We know we are spicy. Got to jump into some Hotline Miami today. On the Xbox One. How did that feel?
It was good. I kind of snuck it in there. It was like kind of the ninja stream.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I was feeling it. And I know this is our game for next month, but I thought I'd
had to do it.
wet people's palates.
Yeah.
You know, I just want them to get a taste of one of my favorite games of all time.
And was it as good as you remember?
Oh, it's so good.
Now,
Yeah,
did they
it's
do
absolutely
anything
good.
to remaster it or anything like that, or is it just as a collection brought to the Xbox?
It's exactly how it was when it was released. It's an indie game with one of the best soundtracks of all time. And it's a different game. It's like very 8-bit top-down twin-stick shooter style game, although it's not like that. It's more like twin-stick melee.
Oh, okay.
At a very fast precision
yeah.
simulator-ish.
Would you compare it to Binding of Isaac gameplay? Is
Um,
it similar to that? Because I have played that. Hotline Miami is going to be this is going to be my first playthrough.
so Binding of Isaac is no.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Answer no.
Like Binding of Isaac had a mature level to it, and it was like a happy, fun, mature level. This is like
The entire thing.
the premise. The premise is
Is
pretty,
it
you
a
turn
much-
that on 18 plus when you stream it.
Is it a much faster gameplay than Binding of
Yes.
Isaac? Would Binding of Isaac a little bit slower?
Yeah, it's very.
You know what game I never played that we're on this topic of these like top-down shooter type of games.
Twin
Well, not
sticks?
even shooters, but just platform games.
Yeah.
Is FTL? Is that a good? Everybody recommends that
I
game too. But I've
love
never
that
played
game. Another game that has an amazing soundtrack.
Does it really?
That's one of my go-to games for whenever I travel. I bring my laptop and I only have FTL on every system that I have. That game is installed.
Yeah.
It's a PC game, right? So it's on
Yeah.
Steam, but I always install that. There is no other game that stays on my Steam install list.
Really?
FTL does,
Yeah,
because you can play that whenever and it's always enjoyable. That is the most replayable game I have ever played.
And it stands for faster than light.
Yes.
Psychotic ass in chat, but it's you're manning a ship, right? Is it space? Is it like a space Stardew Valley kind of?
No,
not at all?
So the premise behind that game is you are a starship that has discovered plans that are crucial to the rebels. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, that does. That sounds very familiar. That's hilarious.
And you are
That is hilarious.
you are trying to get the plans to your destination that allows you to destroy the Imperials, basically. That's the premise. I mean, it sounds really familiar, but it's not a ripoff of Star Wars whatsoever, just so you know. Although it sounds like it. But you're running. You have plans, and you're using your faster than light drive, and it's kind of like it's almost like a tabletop feeling where you have to every move you make, the Imperial people, the bad guys, get closer to you.
Yeah.
And you're using your faster than light drive every turn to get away, and you kind of want to make stops across this board because you need to get materials and you need to get upgrades for your ship for the final fight that is inevitably going to happen at the end of the whole thing, if that makes sense.
No, that does sound cool. And a lot of people have told me that I would really like it.
It's very tactical. During fights. So let's say you go from point A to point B, and you have an alien ship that attacks you. Okay, and then it goes into a tactical fighting style of game where you can pause at any time. It's spacebar to pause. And then you need to move like your little minions. You have several on the ship. You can get more people, more crew on your ship as you play the game and upgrade your ship. But you move them to certain rooms. For example, if you have someone manning the cameras, or shields, or pilot, or weapons. It gives you a boost to whatever that is on your ship fighting the enemy. So with cameras, you can actually see inside their ship, and you can see what to target. You can target their weapons. And
so it's all
stuff
decision.
Like
it's making decisions.
It's one of
decisions.
One of the best tactical strategic games I've ever played.
That's cool.
It's a really fun game.
That's really cool. Well.
That's FTL. Yeah.
Hotline Miami is our gamer club of the gay. It's our game we're using for Gamer Club next month. This
gamer
month
club of the gay.
Yeah, it's this month is Ori Will of the Wisps until the end of the month. Hope everybody's enjoying
One more
that.
week.
I will be jumping in this weekend and finishing it up. It's really good. If you guys have never played Ori and the Blind Forest, this is the second one, Ori Will and the Wisps. We do have a community play. This is Realm Royale. It's happening April 25th, which is next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So get ready.
Are we going to play on our Switches?
You can play wherever you want.
Yeah,
no, really. Yeah,
cross-platform.
you can play wherever you want. So it's free.
We're doing like a private server.
Yep,
thing,
they got
right?
private.
Oh.
It's set up just like PUBG was. So
I'm
private
very-
servers, everything. Keep in mind, we'll probably be in the Xbox party chat. Maybe I will figure something out. But I mean, you can use whatever platform you want because it's all cross-play. And we'll just let you know the day of what the server name is and password if we decide to put one on, and we'll all jump in.
There you go. Do have an announcement as far as streaming schedule. So for those of you that joined on my morning streams, it's been a little bit chaotic the last couple weeks. So my new morning stream, I stream our streaming schedule here on the XoneBros channel, mixer.com/XoneBros. Obviously, every Friday night is the live podcast. Jord the Man is streaming Thursday evenings and Wednesday evenings. So come
You're doing
join
both?
him.
You're streaming Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, just the usual.
Oh, okay. I've actually wanted to stream a couple of times this week, and I didn't realize when you were streaming.
Oh yeah, it used to be Tuesday, Thursday. For the last 3-4 weeks, it's been Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday, Thursday.
I don't want to stream accidentally and then make it so you can't stream.
We're sitting there, but what's going on?
Why this isn't working?
Why is this not working?
Wow.
Or you're like
What's
kicking each other.
spicy
You're like
one?
kicking each other off.
Yeah, it's like what is? People will think we're announcing something big.
And I am streaming Wednesday mornings. So Wednesday mornings, come join me. And I'm going for only one day a week, but it will be longer than what I've been doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's our adjustments. Go ahead.
If you want one of those days, you can. We can work. So if you text me that morning,
just text Jordan
and just go, hey, can I do it tonight? And I'll do it the next day or so. We can.
All right, I'll do that.
It's not like a.
I never thought of asking you.
You could just say, what are you doing?
Oh, you're Mike.
You could just say, hey, can I do it
Jordan,
tonight?
can I do it?
And then I'll say, yeah, I'll just do it
later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's how communication works.
Anyways, there you go, guys. Everybody, thank you very much for being here. It's a blast. Guess what? Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yep.
A lot of news leaked this week. Some pretty pertinent news.
Leaks or rumored?
Rumored, but
leaks.
it's pretty substantial. A lot of people, a lot of websites, the people that leaked this over on Reddit and are pretty reliable. They've been correct about many things before.
There are a few things that contradict themselves, but
this looks pretty accurate. Regardless, I'll tell you what. This is making me want to go back and do Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Great game.
That's a playthrough that I've never completed. I got 90% of the way through. But if I were to go back and play, I think I would restart because I would like to experience the glory that is Grand Theft Auto all over again. But let's just run through some of these rumors for Grand Theft Auto 6, and I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions, impressions right as we jump out. So I'm just going to read through them. We're going to go line by line for everybody here on the show, for everybody listening so that they can hear all of the rumors of what the next Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. So if anything stands out to you, just jump in and let's discuss it. So the next GTA title has been in development since 2012, but production didn't begin properly until 2015. But even then, the team was focusing more on Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, so can I chip in on this?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Because
Usually
the
works that
script-
way.
Yeah, I mean they make these games, these Rockstar games, and a lot of games nowadays have the production like a Hollywood movie, right? So you have a lot of scripting, a lot of things under the hood behind before production even starts to do that. So 3 years. So 2012 they started, but it wasn't really began until 2015. 3 years of story refinement sounds about right. For a good story.
And I saw some things. We're definitely not getting it this year, right? Was that what they said, Jordan? Or Spicy, did you guys?
Rumors are 2021, 2022, or 2023. So,
But even if
Okay.
you remember Red Dead, wasn't it like 2017 17, 2018. And then
2019, so it was the last one. So we're expecting probably 2023, which makes it a 10.
Well, no,
does that
I'm
make it a
no, I'm
10-year
just
development cycle.
no, I'm just making the point that Red Dead had a release date and then they just kept pushing it back.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, in a game that huge. Anyways, so it's another Rockstar Worldwide project. Its code name is Project Americas.
Oh, hey, so that actually makes sense also, and I like their new format because remember with Red Dead 2, that's the first time they ever developed games like that. They used all of their production studios
Yeah.
to work
Very
on
smart.
one game.
And I think it's smart because you specialize down.
Yeah, and
that
I
way.
think it showed
Yeah,
in the
no,
final product.
agreed.
So I'm actually really excited for that to be in a Grand Theft Auto game.
At this point, having some time away from Red Dead Redemption 2, what was superior in your guys' opinion? Red Dead 2 or Red Dead 1?
Well, I mean, technically.
No,
Red
just
Dead-
overall, the entire experience.
I felt like Red Dead 1 had a more, I would say, a more GTA feel because it was more comedic.
Sure, yeah.
And
But serious too.
Yeah.
I felt like Red Dead 2 was far more serious than Red Dead 1, which wasn't a bad thing.
No.
But I mean, like Nigel
Oh, yeah.
from the first one, or Sid. I mean, those guys were
Sid?
hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, that's one of
So, overall, superior?
So here's the
tough
deal.
one.
Here's the deal. I'm being influenced by my experiences at the time.
Yeah, that's. I'm just saying. experience at the time.
I expected Red Dead Redemption 2 to just blow my socks off.
Sure.
Right? And it did. Red Dead Redemption 1, I did as well, but not as much. I mean, the pedigree that Rockstar has released up to that point.
We didn't know what to expect. Although the hype. Remember the hype
was
leading up to
awesome
that? Yeah.
because their trailers,
Yeah.
if you remember, was that guy just explaining the game. He
Yeah.
was like,
This is how
in
we
West
build.
Elizabeth.
normal games have regular horses
Basically,
that have like 5 polygons of data.
Norm-
Our horses actually flex muscles that have never been flexed
And they
before.
Normal
They
games
did.
suck, but in Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah.
we don't.
It was the best trailers for hype that I've ever had. Like, well, I mean, other ones are like you have like your Battlefield trailers that are
Yeah.
just badass. You have your Gears trailers, which if you remember the first Gears trailer,
It's depressing.
it was just a phenomenal. The Halo trailer,
Yeah.
where you have the whole map laid out. Was that Halo Wars? I don't know if that was the Halo Wars trailer where everything was frozen.
Yeah, and the generals were.
So you
walking
have
out.
all these badass trailers, but there was nothing done like that Rockstar trailer
Yeah.
originally, where it was just a guy talking about the game, and it gets you so excited.
Yeah.
So with that said, to answer your question, Red Dead Redemption 1 took me to places that I wasn't expecting, whereas Red Dead Redemption 2, I expected it and I enjoyed it.
Interesting.
So I would have to lean towards
The first one.
the first one. And that's probably because another reason I think John Marsden is one of the greatest characters in any video game ever.
Interesting.
And I like Arthur. But playing as John Marsden and his story and everything is just, and how it ended.
Yeah.
Oh, but
interesting.
Arthur's ending.
I actually think I preferred Arthur Morgan's
his
as a character because he was John Marston now, especially now that we've seen the entirety of the story, right?
Yeah.
In the prequel, John Marston, he was a man in Red Dead Redemption 1, right? But Arthur Morgan is a man's man.
It's true.
And I feel like it didn't diminish John Marston, but it just made him seem more of a child. But the way they wrap it all up, I have to go with Red Dead Redemption 2 just for what it was. But I agree with you. That first time experience of Red Dead, experiencing that kind of world and that kind of cowboyisms is unlike anything that I've ever experienced before in the first one.
Yeah.
Anyways, there we go. So they did that. So worldwide production. The code name is Project Americas. This is Grand Theft Auto 6. Here we go. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this.
Yeah.
It's set in both Vice City and a new fictional location based in Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, so going back to the pedigree of Rockstar games, so we have a setting in that we're going to go back to Vice City. The first time I believe we ever went back to a city was Grand Theft Auto 5, if I remember,
Yeah, 'cause it was Liberty City.
We
right?
went to San Andreas and we went to Liberty City was Grand Theft Auto 4,
Oh, that's right.
and I believe that was the first time we actually had Liberty City.
Oh, okay, yeah. So 5 was San Andreas. Okay.
So then we had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and then we went back to there. And you can in the game in Grand Theft Auto 5, you can go back to Grove Street where you all that stuff. The fact that we're going to Vice City again is rumor has it we're going back to Vice City. I think Vice City was like when I became a man in video games.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. That was
The strip club?
not like that. It's just before that, I was a kid playing video games.
I see.
But when I played Vice City, I had an awakening, you know?
Yeah.
And Vice City, to this day, the music soundtrack in that game, Vice City was based basically like an 80s
Like
drug
Miami,
dealing
yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah.
That's totally how it is. We're going back to Vice City in this one. I am so excited to
Well-
have that be the plot, the city we're going to.
You're about to be doubly excited.
Yes.
Because the time frame is set in the 1970s
Yeah.
/80s.
This is going to be one of the most badass experiences we've ever had.
Well,
in
the
a game.
Vice City game was super fun because
so good.
they had the property mechanic. Remember where you could buy your first club and then you buy
Yes,
different things. And
that's-
that was
That's
which
the game where they introduced that. That was in San Andreas as well.
and it wasn't in 5, was it? Which is actually it was a good mechanic because you earned money.
Well, no, it was, but not to the level, because remember you could buy, like, the golf course cost like $1 million, and
oh yeah, okay, yeah,
uh,
you're right.
that's end
Yeah.
game stuff where you buy stuff like that. But
In Vice
not
City, it
to
was
the-
a part of your character
correct.
development.
Yeah, it was more intertwined with the story,
and you
everything.
had Lance.
oh yeah, dude,
That was a really good story, actually. A little twist and turns.
just you're in it's the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and you have your big cell phone.
Everybody's skating on the beach on those skates, not rollerblades, you know?
Roller skates?
Yeah, skates, right?
Yeah.
So that's Vice City. It sounds like you both are very excited for it. The 1970s, 80s. There are going to be some linear missions that take place in Liberty City, but it isn't an open world. Think Londondorf in GTA 5. So like a separate instanced mission or missions that take place in Liberty
Okay,
City.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Game will balance realism and arcade. It won't be as realistic as Red Dead Redemption 2. Go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, this is interesting. It sounds like it's going to be somewhere in between 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
I feel like 5 was arcadey. You know,
Yeah.
it was followed the normal path of. But I think for Grand Theft Auto, though, I think you need to lean a little that way because
Yeah.
that's the charm of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you got it. You definitely have to be more
mean,
tongue in cheek.
You can't have a Brucey in a serious game. You know what I mean?
Brucey's awesome. Yeah.
There is only going to be one playable protagonist this time.
I like
and
this.
It's a male. There was
Was his name
leaks that-
Ricardo or something?
I don't.
Yes,
Yes.
Was it Ricardo?
correct.
Not female. So there was leaks that it was going to be a female, but it looks like a male. How do you feel about going back to one protagonist? I think it's better. Honestly,
I agree.
Like as much as I like going around, there were times that I get tired of. Honestly, Lamar I think was the most boring, especially late game. Trevor was fantastic. Michael was pretty good with his family. Trevor was the funnest. Anytime I got to go to Trevor, and so you end up wanting to play one more than the other.
Well, I think what did that was, partly their character development, but also their abilities. I mean, Michael's was stealth, and and Trevor's was crazy. Like his skill set was crazy.
And Lamar
His
felt
driving, his was
bland.
driving,
Yeah,
right?
but his
So-
felt bland. He felt more bland. It was still a good story and stuff, but it just wasn't as good. I prefer singular focus on one and then surround me with characters.
Yeah, I agree. Although when Lamar had Trevor visit his
Okay.
house for the first time,
Trevor and Lamar and Trevor's aunt, hilarious.
Oh, that was
Or,
funny.
not Trevor, Lamar's aunt. So
yeah,
hilarious.
that's a good time.
That is
That
hilarious.
was funny.
Jordan, you like going back to
I
one
said
protagonist?
nice, not expensive. Go get yourself.
Franklin, that's right. Lamar
Oh.
was Lamar his friend.
Lamar was his friend.
Yeah,
Franklin
Lamar was
was
his
his
Oh
friend.
yeah,
My
Franklin. So thanks everybody.
Lamar,
Thanks.
see, Lamar was hilarious. Franklin was a little bit boring. Lamar, his friend,
Yeah, he's like,
would
I
have
got
been
that
better to
Comanche
play.
blood in me. Oh man, he's like, here's a couple bucks. Go get yourself something nice.
Oh man, I should play
I
Grand
said
Theft Auto
nice, not
again.
expensive.
Dude, that's hilarious.
There's
When Trevor first meets his aunt, though, that was funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh man, no, I really like the single player stories. I mean, that's why you fall in love with John Marsden, Arthur Morgan, all these characters. Nico from Liberty City, same thing. It's just you really get immersed a lot more with one single character.
So it's set in the 1970s and 80s. You play as an up-and-coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo. Another key character.
You laugh at that? What a noob.
Another key character is called Casey, is also part of the narrative. You start off as a grunt doing runs as a cocaine smuggler from Vice City to the new large South American area before making connections with big-time drug lords and making your way up through multiple cities. That sounds like a pretty cool premise.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I wonder if they, instead of doing the 3 different characters, they're just changing that to the cities. You know what I mean? I wonder if it's going to be like a reputation system within each city type thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Each city will be its own zone,
Maybe.
I guess. I don't know. But.
We'll see. There will also be a giant prison, which will play a part in the game. It will feature a chapter system similar to a Tarantino flick or Red Dead Redemption 2. How do you feel about that, going to like a chapter system like Red Dead? My only concern there is
missable.
You miss events that never return in a chapter system. And I guess, do you in Grand Theft Auto? I guess you do. You just don't realize it because there's no hard chapter point.
They do that in Grand Theft Auto, but I don't know. It either tells you it's going to happen and you expect that it's going to happen, or there's going to be something that just disappears and you didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like the hard chapter system in that.
I don't know. I think I'm going to lean towards the Grand Theft Auto 5 approach.
I do like this. Weather is going to play a heavy focus. Hurricanes, floods, etc. That's cool. So things will happen
It's going to
based
make the
on
world
weather.
feel.
Well, and think Grand Theft Auto came out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. The Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
And that world was built for that. Look at Red Dead Redemption. Now imagine a Grand Theft Auto utilizing the Red Dead Redemption 2 technology of world and dynamic weather, and it's going to be amazing on the new systems.
Yeah.
Well, even if in Red Dead 2, like the fog effects and stuff are always pretty cool. So
yeah, now you're going to have ray tracing with that, and it's going to be amazing. Buildings change over the eras, vehicles too. So older rare classic cars get more expensive as time progresses. There's going to be
such a small detail. That's so cool.
Yeah, a full in-game economy. I love full real-time economies that change and adjust and go. That is cool. That is really cool. Full economy. So it's going to be heavily inspired by Netflix's Narcos, or is heavily inspired. Sorry. And they want to have an incredible 70s, 80s soundtrack.
They always have good radio stations, though.
Always.
The Vice City soundtrack, like I said, was my awakening.
Yeah.
A younger Martin
man.
Madrazo will make an appearance, as will his father, who is a big drug lord at the time. You will do some missions for the Madrazo family involving hits on other gangs. I only played Grand Theft Auto 5. I've not played any of the earlier.
So you never played Liberty City?
No.
Or Grand Theft Auto 4?
So who's Martin Madrazo? Does he play a big role in those?
Was he the one that lived in the mansion on the island in Vice City?
I don't remember. Is that
Chat probably might know if anyone in chat wants to correct us.
Doesn't Lance introduce you to him? Maybe.
Yeah, I know. I know the mansion. I had to go there lots of times.
Yeah, and then there's a lot that takes place there.
The drug empire building is a mechanic similar to Vice City stories, but bigger. Think the GTA Online system and dial it up to 10. If that doesn't turn you on, I don't know what will. Like holy crap. You can only have weapons on your person, no arsenal in your back pocket like Red Dead Redemption 2. So that's kind of, like you said, the in-between. So some aspects will be a little bit more realistic. Some others are arcadey.
Oh, so no more.
So there's no weapon wheel.
Yeah, like how you can just pull out.
I mean, I'm sure there will be a weapon wheel, but you just can't pull out a bunch of different guns. You probably have to go to your car or something.
Yeah. Well, that actually is interesting. I wonder how I bet you the animations are going to be slick, man, because they're probably going to be hidden in your jackets and vests. Because you know they're going to have like a clothing customizable thing, right?
It's going to
be.
Your personal vehicle will be like your horse saddle in Red Dead Redemption 2. All your equipment is stored in the trunk. Oh,
okay.
That's cool.
That's how they're going to do it.
You also store your body armor in the car. If you wear it, it appears no longer just an invisible thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
There will be tons of subtitle reading. Think Max Payne 3 amounts. Very immersive, like watching an episode of Narcos. Whenever you're in South America, don't expect to hear much English. Vice City, however, is a mix of everything, but mostly English. Last bit of narrative info. It will discuss topics such as HIV and the immigration crisis of the time, a fictional version of Fidel Castro, etc. They always do those.
Well,
hilarious. They do such a good job.
I don't think it will discuss the topics. I think it'll make fun of them.
Oh yeah. Okay. Like
let's
the
be
talk
honest.
show, like the radio talk shows are hilarious.
They're the best in the
Or
game.
the ads.
I always listen to those.
And this piece of information I think is the most interesting. This is going to be next gen only, not PS4 or Xbox One.
It'll push consoles.
It'll be PS5 or Xbox One or Xbox Series X. So that's interesting. GTA 6 is now the primary focus alongside another title, which might be Bully 2. Game is still in pre-alpha, so names, locations, details could and probably will change. There is no ETA on the release date. The game is set in a modern-day Liberty City. The beginning of games is reminiscent of The Wire. That makes sense. It's all drug stuff. Police officers are trying to crack down on a gang drug ring based around a nightclub. There are 4 main characters, 2 police and 2 gang members. You play as one. Interesting. It will have twice the amount of dialogue as GTA 5 and a crazy amount of plot twists, or a really crazy plot twist. The main storyline splits after a while. The criminal side has sort of a sandbox, build a crime empire thing, while the police side is more of a traditional action game with a little twist of LA noir. Earliest release date here, according to this rumor, is holiday 21, but they guess 22 or 23.
So that last part, it'll the storyline splits. The main storyline splits after a while. So that's what I wonder about. Is it because it said? I mean, all this is rumors, right? That it's one.
So
playable,
these are rumors from 2 different people.
Yeah. So it said that it's one playable character. So I wonder. Is it one playable character, or
It
are
might
we
be
going to
one
play
playable-
police and criminal, or is it going to be you have to choose? Do you want to go with the criminals or the
literally,
police?
Sounds
or-
like you might have to choose.
Literally every Grand Theft Auto game, you've had to go
with
with
actually,
the dirty cops
yeah.
and do stuff,
Yeah, you're right.
that you don't want to do, but they have some sort of leverage over you that you have to deal with.
I remember in GTA 4, it was the FBI lady who was actually your girlfriend, which was a big punch to the nads when you found out
big
she was
nut
working for the
cruncher.
FBI.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I think Liberty City has the best cast of characters in any game. I mean, you have Packy, you have Brucey,
Roman,
yeah,
who calls you all the time.
you all the time. Hey, Nico, want to go bowling? Yeah. Yeah.
That guy was hilarious.
I love this. Reading this makes me want to go back and play Grand Theft Auto 5.
You should play Liberty City. It's actually not that dated.
Oh, really?
I think I think it would still hold up
Okay.
decently well.
Okay.
You should play it because Nico's a pretty cool character.
Maybe I'll just watch gameplay of it. Well, watch like the whole story.
Or you could just be lazy and do that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. So, what do you guys think? GTA 6, super excited now that we're getting these rumors, leaks.
well, hey man, if it's anything like Red Dead 2,
Well, I think it's going to be that on steroids.
If it's anything like any Rockstar game
well,
ever
and,
released,
yeah. Well,
I'm
and
excited.
if it's only on the new systems, which we just talked about, what was it last week, the week before, about the new hard
abilities
drives
that
and
you're gonna
stuff
be
that
able
they're
to-
going to
what
have
they're
on. I
gonna
mean,
be able
it's
to
going to
pull
be
off.
some cool stuff.
Ooh, it's going to be good.
I think when Rockstar comes out with a game, it always sets a new like technical standard, right? Like you may not like the story or whatever, but like I think GTA 5 set a new technical standard. I believe Red Dead Redemption 2 set a new technical
I would
standard.
also add artistically standard.
Oh,
Like, it
yeah,
raises
no,
the
agree,
bar across the board every
Uh-huh.
time they release a
I
game.
agree. They're a phenomenal developer.
Yeah.
Another one of the big rumors that came out about GTA 6 is that they're not going to release the full game at once, so it'll be released and then it'll be updated over time.
Like how they're doing Final Fantasy VII right now, remake.
I
chapter.
think,
you
a lot
only
of
get
people
chapters
were
1
comparing
through.
it to Grand Theft Auto Online, and that like you
Well-
got it at this base point, and then it eventually built up. But
Well, that makes more sense. Like, is it going to be here's Red Dead Redemption 2, about 3 or 4 months later, here's Red Dead Online, and then they continuously update the online version, right?
I don't know. It sounds like it's single player story that is going to be added and updated, but maybe not. And maybe story and online are together. I don't know.
The
Who knows
last
what they're
time
doing.
they did single player DLC was Liberty City, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
Ballad
it
of Gay
was
Tony.
the Ballad of Gay Tony and the
Lost in the Dam.
The Lost in the Dam, the biker game. Yeah. Right? They didn't do anything.
No,
for
they didn't.
Grand
They
Theft
didn't
Auto
do
5,
anything.
did they?
It was all
They don't need to.
multiplayer.
It's a
Because I mean,
cash cow of free content.
why
Yeah.
why make a story when you can just throw in Hot Wheel tracks in the sky?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's right. I never actually even paid attention as much to that.
Low Tech has a question. How long do you think GTA 5 will live after 6 drops? It depends how they use online, because that online is a cash cow money maker for them.
We're talking about a game that came out 2 generations ago.
It is consistently on the top 5 games,
Purchased
month
games.
in and month out, and it's because of Grand Theft Auto Online. It's got a huge player base.
Yeah.
I mean, role playing alone.
ORP, yeah. That's, top 3 on Twitch streams all the time.
Yeah, so I don't.
And they're all going to get excited when they have a new engine to deal with. A new
engine, yeah. And so I would imagine they'd probably just somehow begin to merge those over, and it just becomes one.
Although it did take years to release on PC, and then it took a couple more years till they had a workable modding setup to do the role playing.
Well, maybe they don't. Maybe all they do is they keep the same engine for online and throw in the new areas or something in GTA Online and online.
But you couldn't do that though.
You don't think so?
Well, yeah, because you'd have like features in this game that aren't possible with this engine, right?
Yeah, I mean we're talking Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 days.
Yeah.
That's when this game was.
No,
developed.
I think what they'll do is they'll basically they'll release the game, then later down the line they'll release their online as a separate entity, right? Just like they've done for the past 2 games. Because didn't they do that with 5 as well? They released it later.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. It was like 3 months later.
Yeah. So I think they'll do the same thing, and I think you'll start fresh. Basically, I think of it like StarCraft 2, right? You had that huge StarCraft scene when StarCraft 2 came out. It took a minute to get everybody to come over, but I think that's how it'll kind of go.
Because you still have Blood War tournaments.
Yeah, I mean,
going on in South Korea,
so, I mean, you're still gonna have that, but
interesting. Regardless, it's super exciting. There you go, guys. That is GTA 6. The hype train is here. It's real. That brings us to the next segment of our show. This is the news. Jordan, tell us what is happening. What is happening? What has happened?
What's happened, bro?
happening?
as
dude?
always, there was some stuff, and I picked a few of those stuffs.
Oh.
And first thing first is the new.
Can we pull up a picture of this?
Yeah, the new. Basically, there's a leak online. There was a leak a week ago or a couple weeks ago.
We might be purchasing another Xbox One X because of this.
Yeah.
What? Oh,
well,
because I know what you're
Xbox
talking
One
about.
X.
There's basically whatever. It was just a little bit ago. Rumored a new Cyberpunk
Look at that
controller
thing.
that'll be coming out.
I'm gonna pull it up.
And
look at
Xbox.
that's going to be the special limited edition Xbox One X pre-order bundle. Oh,
Trying to find a decent. thumbnail.
Now this is as of right now just a rumor. There is some stuff online. They're asking you to crack the code and stuff like that. Just kind of build the hype. So obviously there's something, but yeah, it's they leaked the controller and the console. I wish it was the yellow though. I think that would have been cooler.
yeah. No, this is an.
But I mean, we don't even know. This
is not a Series X. This is an Xbox One X. Dude, that's a Walkman, a 1980s like a Walkman that the Xbox One X is on.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So we're talking about the new limited edition bundle that they're coming out with the Xbox.
Rumored to be coming out, right? And
Live
so,
viewers can see it now, but
which is pretty cool.
if you want to see it, just Google search
Dude,
this thing.
it's sexy. Sexy. I think this is the best
New hardware.
It looks good.
best looking
That's
console.
so sexy,
It's
man.
so cool.
Yeah, it looks
so
really
cool.
good.
New hardware.
You realize this game, had it not been pushed back, would be here already?
Yes,
That depresses
I
me.
realize that.
That depresses me.
because it was April 8th, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That depresses me.
That's unfortunate. But I already have a lot of games to play. anyway,
Destiny.
so. Destiny 2 is having a free event for all players.
Free for all.
It's called the Guardian Games.
Ooh.
This event will be running from the 21st to the 12th. They have an assortment of things you can do. It actually looks kind of fun. And
Well,
there's
that's good.
Yeah, there's a trailer if you guys want to watch it. But it looks really fun.
Echo.
Is now available in
Now
Overwatch
available.
for everybody.
Have you guys had a chance to play Echo at all yet? Or?
I'm not going to sit through 20-minute wait
yeah,
times.
the queues are ridiculous.
I've
Hit
played
that.
her in training mode,
Yeah.
which is just me wandering around and
It
flying
really
around.
is 20-minute wait time.
for
yeah.
DPS. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. I'm not gonna.
Well,
do that.
it's here though. If you would like to, then there you go.
Can we talk about that? How Blizzard?
Ha-
I don't know.
You're
I think it's frustrating. There are things that Blizzard does that frustrate me.
we kind of talked about this last week. I really think we're starting to see a refresh of Blizzard, similar to how Microsoft kind of has had to refresh their brand with the Xbox One. I think we're seeing that with Blizzard. I really do.
But why would you do this? Why would Why would you make
No, but
the
this
character?
is a result of the non-refresh, right? I think Overwatch is going to see a refresh as well. I think there's new blood coming and in there.
Okay, because it takes time to filter things. So
Yeah.
you're saying
This is the old
in
ways.
a little bit of time,
This
we're
will-
finally
this
going to
will
see the
improve.
changes that have been made to make things better.
Exactly. That's just a theory of mine, going off of nothing but pure gut instinct. But my gut instinct is not wrong.
I just think if you already have 10-minute queue times, why would you make a new character to double that queue time?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like
Yeah.
They could have done any.
Well, you're right. You're a super hardcore Overwatch person, and you're not waiting to play.
I know,
character.
and it actually makes me not. Oh, do you know what makes me not play the game? Is their their current ban system.
Oh, really?
They choose the bands.
They choose the bans right now, which
Oh, yeah,
they've,
you
they've
want it
modified.
to be more like Heroes of the Storm or League of Legends or whatever.
Where they put, and that
we-
would actually fix the 10-minute, 20-minute queue times for DPS. Just put us all in a pool, and then we figure it out later. But right now, they choose the bans. They've modified it, so now it's 1 tank, 2 DPS, 1 support, where they ban. And it totally screws up certain characters and balancing. Their idea was to switch things up, but no. When you can't have a Brigade, you're now going to have to deal with Reapers that are indestructible. When you don't have these certain characters that counter certain characters, other characters that are not fun are going to just go rampant, and it's not fun for support players, and it's not fun for tank players because we cannot adapt as easily as DPS players, which we're not going to play DPS because we're sitting there waiting 20 minutes, so we're stuck at the liberty of those that are waiting, and at our, at gold level or silver or...
Elo.
Yeah, when we're in Elo hell, we can't do that, and it makes the game not fun. Yeah. And it's such a good game.
Yeah.
And it's super frustrating.
Well, and the ban fixes a lot of things because, for example, if you put the ban and control the players like you do, and you still keep the same formula: 2 DPS, 2 tank, 2 DPS, 1 tank, and one healer,
support,
right?
yeah.
So basically, one team bans a tank, one team bans a support, and then each team gets to choose a DPS. But this is what I'm saying: if you put that in the hands of the players, their team bans Brigade. Who's the first character you ban? Reaper, right?
Yeah,
so then it's like,
exactly.
okay,
Or
I can counter that by this. You
Or
know what I mean?
Doomfist.
Yeah,
the
like-
characters that she was meant to stop their raping of the whole team.
So then it puts it in player control, and it'd just be easier.
It makes it not fun it makes the game way less fun for support and tanks by doing it how they're doing it now. And it also makes it less fun for DPS players because now you have to go mow the lawn. Well, you have to queue up and then go mow the lawn and then come back and still wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's insane. That is a long time to wait to get into a game
Yeah.
to play the character.
Anyway,
you
so
want.
sorry I got on my soapbox.
That's okay.
But I hope that they just fix things.
But
Just-
that would also help them because like I said, I think you should get rid of the 2-2-2. Just do a player ban like Heroes of the Storm, and that would fix your top. I think that would help because they do top down from the tournament level. Because think about it, teams are gonna Seagull's good at Soldier. We're gonna ban so they're gonna ban different characters every round too because of who their opponent's strengths are, right? Which again changes up the play. I just think it works from all directions.
Well, the format that they have now has catered to an interesting, as far as the esports setup. They have teams are getting players that are only good at one character right now,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a dangerous thing for making those changes later. For example, you have a character. I can't remember who was picked up, but he is extremely good at Doomfist and nothing else. All right. You introduce a ban system where players can do that, like we're proposing,
Yeah.
and then that guy's roster that team's roster is screwed up because, well, one of their players is only good at Doomfist. Let's ban Doomfist.
Yeah. And then
So
it's like, oh shoot.
it scares me because they make decisions on the top down that this is never going to happen because their esports scene is not going to work with how things are set up like that. Does
Well,
that
what's
make sense? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, it does. And doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of the original concept of the game? Because the idea was you can switch characters to counter their characters. So if the pros are only playing one character because that's who they're good at, it's just going to get stale all over again.
Yeah, it's made an interesting Fustercluck of a game at the esports level because they always make decisions from the top down. They can't introduce banning at the player control because it'll hurt teams, and they have to support their teams to make esports enjoyable for viewers. If they don't, they lose advertising. There's a whole bunch of politics involved at that level, right? So, I don't know. I mean, this is definitely decisions above my pay grade.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too involved with the Overwatch thing, but releasing a really cool DPS character when DPS players are really strained to even play because they have 20-minute queue times is an interesting move by Blizzard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but if you do want to wait 20 minutes, or if you want to jump into like the arcade or something like that and player, Echo is now available on all platforms to play as in Overwatch.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Fallout 76.
Oh, there we go. That was going to lead into that.
Yeah.
So on a happy note, a lot of people are very excited about the new Wasteland.
Yeah, this is a lot of
Fallout 76. A lot of people who are hardcore into the game and left it for a while said this fixes a lot of things that were wrong with the game. It's very exciting.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So Wastelanders came out, which is a free DLC, which basically adds new quest lines, NPCs, and basically more life to the world, I feel like. But
you jumped into Fallout 76.
Yeah, I started a whole new character because I wanted to experience it from the beginning, and my other character wasn't really that far anyway. It's really fun. The world feels more alive. It's not like a Fallout 4 dialogue system. It's more similar to Fallout 3, which I like. You're kind of a silent protagonist, and you have those like bunch of different replies and stuff like that, right? And the replies are hilarious, by the way. But no, it's really cool. They've changed a few of like the introductory quests, like what you're looking at right now. Like you used to get things a different way. But the new quest line and storyline is really good. There's already been like a twist here and there for me, and I'm not even that far into it. But it makes the world feel more alive because there's not only are there players walking around everywhere, which is cool to see, and the server that I was in, or all the servers I've been in, because I've played it about once a day since it came out, have been packed. Like I think we're at full like people are there, which is really awesome.
Good on Bethesda.
Do you think they intentionally release the game without NPCs just to get the game out sooner? Because that seems like an interesting...
Well, they were going for the concept of the only NPCs in the world you'll meet are other players.
So I think it was a trial and error of their first like online world.
I don't know if they were being pushed to do that or if that was just like an idea they had. I don't know. I think as the game sits today, given we're talking about a year's worth of updates, but Wastelanders, a lot of people are saying, and I kind of agree with them because I played it back then, this is how they should have launched with Wastelanders. You know what I mean? With that type of thing. Because what's interesting is you can play the Wastelander storyline. There is a level gate at a certain point where you have to be level 20 to kind of progress. After that, you're fine. But you go play the Wastelanders quest, and it's super, super fun. And then you kind of have to go back and do some of the original, if you want to call them vanilla quest. And there's definitely a step down in the design of those quests, right? It's much more bland. You know, instead of talking to a character, you're on either a computer screen or a holotape. Like, it's really weird, but you can design a quest and you can have just the computer screen tell you what to do, or you can have an actual NPC tell you what to do, and the world feels more alive with that NPC telling you what to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing what an NPC with good dialogue can do, right?
What is the point? I never played Fallout 76. I know like it was supposed to be this online world, and they wanted to introduce like raiding other parties and stuff like that. What is the point of the online aspect of Fallout 76?
I've been getting that question a lot, and I just it makes me smile because it's like, well, that's the point of every other game to level up and become powerful.
Yeah, but why in an online space? Like, what do I do? How does the online world affect me as a player?
Because there's a guy over there that you can go join with and kill that big monster.
So it's PvE. Is there PvP?
And there's PvP. I don't like their PvP system. I think it should be different, but a lot of people disagree with what I think PvP should be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what is their PvP?
So their PvP, how it works. But to answer your original question, the point of the game is to level up and become more powerful. Yeah. Think of, I don't want to compare it to like a World of Warcraft or those types of games, right? But think of World of Warcraft. What's the point of World of Warcraft? To level your character up and to get more powerful,
just got
right?
Shot. That was hilarious. Okay, sorry. That
was and that's what NPCs give you.
He was talking to you and he just got shot.
That, by the way, everybody is calling that Ghoul Solo. It's basically Han Solo as a ghoul.
That's funny.
But no. So like in World of Warcraft, what's the point of that game? It's to level up your character and become stronger. Why are there other people in the world? So you can group up with them and kill a boss together,
Okay.
right? Same thing in this one. There's certain bosses that are, or dynamic events that are really hard, and maybe you want to group up with someone, and it's just fun playing with friends, right? It's that idea of a game. Now, your other question.
But wasn't there bases and stuff that you could have? That's what
Yeah.
they were advertising.
Yeah, so
initially?
just like in
Rust.
Yes, but less hardcore than Rust.
Okay.
It's
So
your
like when you log out,
campsite.
someone can't break into your base and steal all your stuff and torch it to the ground.
Okay,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Which happens literally every day of Rust.
Yeah.
But what happens when I'm logged in?
It's called CAMP. CAMP. It's an acronym. But anyway.
I know the Fallout.
Oh, okay. All right. So what?
It's an acronym.
Thank you for spelling that out.
Thank you. CAMP. It's an acronym. Thank you. So to explain camp, go ahead.
Yeah, so what your camp is this little, basically you can pick up your camp and move it wherever you want, right? So, for example, if you put your camp down in one place and something happens in the game, like either they update it, like with Wastelanders, and you can't go to that area anymore, if another, if anything happens, your camp will be packed up in its little camp satchel and it will return to you, and then you just replace it somewhere else, right? So you never, once you've built your extravagant camp, it can't be torched to the ground, essentially, right? No matter what. And there's systems in place to keep that. And that I like. That's fine, right? Now, to answer the other question,
So can I
PvP,
just go up and kill anybody I see?
yes and no. And that's what I disagree with their PvP system. And I think you just got to either say, hey, we're going to have PvP, or hey, we're not going to have PvP, right? But I'm a purist.
Oh, okay.
So anyway.
So you want the ability to just
No,
kill
yeah,
anybody
no,
you
yeah,
want?
I
He
want that
wants the
ability.
freedom of choice.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I
So
like
how
that.
their PvP system currently works is you have to hit level 5 to even participate in PvP. Now, how PvP works is if I'm standing here on the road and I see you or Mark walking by, and I go, oh, there's that noob, and I shoot you,
There's that douche.
it'll do like very minimal damage to you,
Okay.
right? If you want to engage in full combat, you have to turn around and shoot me. It's basically like accepting the duel, right? And then once we shoot each other, then all the modifiers go back to normal, and we do our damage with whatever armor we have, and blah 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 blah,
Okay.
right?
What happens if you kill me? Do I lose all my equipment?
No, just
do
a little doggy bag on the floor. You got to come back and pick it up.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
what's
I think
the
if you
benefit of
never-
killing someone? You get all their stuff.
I think you can loot like their junk. You can't like take their weapons and stuff, but their junk is used
His
for
penis.
Yeah.
You can loot his penis.
Is that an acronym?
Yes. PENIS. Penis.
But
You loot his junk.
But yeah, I think you can. And Loyal Doyle, I know, probably knows more than I. But I think you can take like their junk, which is then used to like craft wood and stuff to build up your base, right? Now, how I think it should work is one of two ways: either you have PvP servers or PvE servers, right?
Sure.
Because I think in a game like this, to make the world, because I mean it's a post-apocalyptic. I mean it actually fits in perfectly with Fallout, right?
To make it more vicious.
To make it more, yeah, you can have a level cap, like instead of 5, maybe make it 20, right? And once you hit 20, you're eligible for PvP, right? Or a certain level, whatever. But I think if someone walks by and you just shoot them, it's on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just how it should be, and that's how it is in like classic World of Warcraft, and that's what I like because when you go into certain zones, like Stranglethorn Vale in World of Warcraft Classic, there's a sense of like, all right, we're here, like, oh, you're kind of like, it's like, do I go into Booty Bay? It's right there, and I can sell my stuff, or do I take the long trek to Stormwind where it's safe? Like it adds another level to the world, which I think makes the world feel more alive, makes it feel more dangerous, right?
Interesting. Loyal Doyle in chat did say that he thinks PvP is actually really fun if you take over loot areas for farming materials, and if others want to take over your area, it can be pretty fun.
Agreed. I like PvP. I just think their system
Yeah. Needs to be adjusted. Would
yeah,
benefit from
I don't
making it
like
more
the
open.
basically asking someone to duel system is basically what they have, where they shoot you and then you have to shoot them back.
Bareback Slayer says, I still don't think it's a very good game personally. Super Shocker says, same for me. There's just too much farming in it. I do know the players that really enjoyed and wanted this game to be good are really enjoying Wastelanders. So it's interesting. I don't know. They've not. I have too many questions about the game. I don't quite understand. I feel like it lacks identity. I understand what Fallout 4 is. I understand what Fallout is, right? Like I understand what Skyrim is. I understand what ESO is. I don't know what Fallout 76 is. I don't understand what it's trying to
So
do.
with Wastelanders, it's literally Fallout with your friends if you so choose to bring them along.
Interesting.
So Wastelanders makes it feel more like a Fallout game. I agree. There is one, I think, misstep they made.
It looks pretty good considering it's, that engine.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? But no, Wastelanders, you can't really do. I mean, you can bring your friend along with you, but it's not like co-op-y, I guess, if that makes sense. It's more like you can bring your friend and you guys can do the quest at the same time, but you're not really doing it together.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess would be really hard for them to do in this setup of game. But I do think this DLC does make it feel more like a Fallout game. It feels more of an extension of Fallout. I don't want to say Fallout 4, but...
I mean, AOG says it's what people wanted in 4. People wanted 4 with multiplayer. That's what he feels like.
Yeah, with this, it definitely brings you a step closer to that. I do think this Wastelanders is definitely much better questing design because you can really tell the difference when you do like just the first quest of Wastelanders to the first quest of like the vanilla experience, right?
Yeah.
Definitely different tiers, and it kind of does suck a little bit that you have to go back if you're leveling a new character. You kind of have to go back and do a few of those quests, and then. But anyway, everybody's telling me I should. Deloyal's telling me I should do the farming things with friends. I just the PvP. I want a PvP. The system just. I'm just not.
It demotivates you.
Yeah, because it's like I have to shoot this guy and then he has to shoot me back, and
which
I'm sure happens.
Regardless, it is getting good reviews. Yeah. It is here. Wastelanders.
Yeah, very exciting.
76.
It's a lot of fun. I've been having fun with all week. You guys should jump in and play with me.
Season 3, Fortnite.
Yeah, Season 3 of Fortnite has been delayed. It was supposed to. Yeah. It was supposed to come out. I think it was supposed to come out this month, but it's been pushed back to June. So, and they did say they do have some more content for this season. So. Look out for that.
Very good. Then that does us for the news for this week, everybody. That brings us to our last and final segment. This is the segment where we take your questions. We answer your questions. So submit a question. You can do so each and every single week over at Patreon, patreon.com/positive gaming. Our first question comes from the one and only Quick Trigger. He says, you guys need a call-in line. That would actually be scary and hilarious, I'm sure. Do you think Infinity Ward will add the ability to skip maps like they have in every Call of Duty game until this one? Spicy thoughts. Ability to skip maps.
What's the question? Do you think they will add
Do you think
the
they
ability?
will add that? Yeah.
I mean, that's... I would hope so. I don't know. I enjoy a bannable system.
Whoa, Jordan.
Sorry. I was just
Well, a system that gives power to the players, right?
Yeah.
Will they do that? I don't know. I would hope they do, but I mean, because that's very useful. I wish they had that in every game. Just give
I'll tell you where. Yeah, like Vigor.
People a
there
chance
are certain
to
maps that I do not want to play.
Yeah, just give them to. You don't have to say, you don't have to have all the maps up. Just give you map 1 and map 2, and which one do you vote for?
Here's the thing. I'm not sure that they will add it because I think they're making so much money with War. I think Warzone is their baby. I think everything else is going to take a backseat. I think numbers will show that. I know over at Clutch, all we see is Warzone. Well, I see 0 deathmatch clips. It's all Warzone clips.
But is it that hard to make a system where it shows the map?
Well, I think they should have the
thumbnail.
Yeah.
And then you say yes or no?
No, that's true.
Yeah, the voting,
that's
right?
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Is it that hard?
I mean, Halo has it.
Well, all
lot of games have it.
Yeah.
all the other Call of Duties had it.
This is true.
I don't think it'll come anytime soon, if at all, in this rendition of the
I'll
game.
bet you they don't, because you'd probably be banning every map.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause
Yeah.
I would say this is this Call of Duty has my least
Favorite maps?
Yeah, there's very few maps
And
I enjoy in this.
I think there's other stuff they need to super heavily focus on
I think
right now.
Warzone is the focus.
Like, yeah, and that's actually
I actually like that map.
That's actually what. Yeah, that's actually what they need to focus on, because there is a ginormous problem with hackers. So,
what are hackers doing?
They're hacking.
Aimbotting?
Oh yeah, and they're like shooting,
crazy.
wall shooting and stuff like
Dude,
that.
my
Well, they're
favorite
like
highlight-
flying around in cars and stuff.
It's like it's a huge. There's actually been a lot of big YouTubers that have been playing on the, because it's cross play.
Sure.
And now it does match you up by input device, so we theoretically could. I mean, I play on the PC too because we have it. It's
Yeah.
free. But if someone's using it matches you up by input device. So theoretically, you could get matched up with someone from Xbox to PC as long as they were using a controller. But at that point, if they're hacking, I mean, who's to know what they're using?
Well,
right?
then you can tell the game I'm using a controller.
My favorite,
yeah, and then aimbot.
my favorite highlights that I've seen in that game are, and there's more and more of them out, but when someone like is flying a helicopter, jumps to the back, snipes, jumps and jumps
Those
back
are
to the
cool.
front and flies it off, or they're doing that parachuting as well. Like it's super.
Well,
those
it's
are
super,
cool.
it's super sandboxy, which is fun, which is
Yeah.
what the Battlefield games used to be, right?
Yeah.
But no, I think they really need to fix that because there's been a lot of people coming out like I didn't play Warzone today because I'm just tired of the
Because
hackers.
There was
Yeah,
a
like,
flying car.
You know what's interesting? That's why I got rid of World at War, because everyone, once you find out that there's an underneath the map that
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
access,
Yeah.
every 12-year-old kid thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah, I would
And
probably be one of those 12-year-old
I
kids.
played that game for 3 weeks, and that happened every game for like 3 days, and I was like, okay,
Out, delete,
yep,
uninstall.
yep. That's
Great
going
question.
back.
Thank you very much, Quick Trigger, for writing in. Psychotic writes in. The Psychotic writes in and says, "Hey, bros, my birthday was Wednesday. Happy birthday!"
Yes.
Happy birthday.
He says, "I wanted to ask you guys a question that seems normal to me, but it might be weird to others." He says, "I'm running a D&D campaign for my birthday party, and most of my
Oh, that's so cool.
that is cool.
I love that.
is super cool.
Hey, yeah.
And most of my friends are interested, but kind of cautious about it. My question is, what game did you try to introduce to another person or group that went the same way, and what was the ending? Stay safe, and thanks for keeping some sense of normalcy during this weird time." I have a unique perspective in that I don't think I've ever experienced where people are cautious about a game. Like, I don't have friends, basically. These two are my friends.
Hey.
That sounds sad, but it's really not. And I'll be like, "Hey, guys, there's this new X-Wing miniature games. You want to try it?" And they're like, "Yes! Here's my credit card. Spending all my money." And then we play it. So I don't know.
No,
It's
let's
it's very
change.
less-
Let's
very-
be truthful.
Okay.
You play it with Jordan for about a week and a half. Then you go,
Oh,
let's,
no,
let's
it was months with John. It was actually me and John that were more hardcore.
you know what? This is with every game that you get excited about. You know what? Let's tell Spicy to play. He'll buy anything I tell him. Oh, right. I'll buy a whole shelf worth. That's like, what, $400 up
It's not
there.
even open yet.
Yeah, half those aren't.
You did play
That's
with
the
us with,
point of my story.
You did play with us with the Millennium Falcon though.
I did, yeah. I
Yeah.
played you.
That was
I played
badass.
like 1 or 2 games.
I had a really
And then you're like, I'm done. Let's move on to Hero Clicks.
No, we moved on from Hero Clicks to X-Wing.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
actually hated Hero Clicks.
I just think it's really funny that you pull me in at the end of your life cycle of a game.
So do you guys have any stories of it's just it's not the end of the life cycle. We just didn't happen to have not played it in a while.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I
So
actually want to
let's define life cycle then.
it was like 2 months of going hard with John. Me and John were doing it every weekend. And then finally, "Hey, Spicer, you got to get this game. We're playing it all the time."
Well, that happened with like 6 different games too. Like
Yeah.
what was that? World
The
of
Naval
Warships.
Warships. Yeah, but that was just hilarious. That was just a hilarious experience.
Yeah, that's funny for you.
Any games that you've introduced to people and they're like, I don't know. I'm a little bit cautious of this.
It happens to me all the time.
World of Warcraft with
Yeah, I
you
could
guys.
see World War. Yeah.
And then you finally, when Classic came out.
Classic was
yeah.
legit. Classic legit.
Yeah.
Spicy happens to you all the time.
I have friends that it's hard to introduce them to games, because I don't know. I feel like there's different personalities that are like, oh yeah, okay, I'll buy it right away. That's what
Sure.
you do to me all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
There are personalities who are like, oh, I'll give it a shot, and then there are personalities where like I don't know. It's hard to explain because I feel like there are personalities that are very accepting of games, but there are personalities that need to discover the games for themselves, for example,
Sure.
or there are personalities that I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, I don't. I try. I like to share things that I love, but like Hotline Miami, for example, that's going to be the game next week.
Bought
I
it.
sure hope that people like that game because it's like one of my favorite games ever.
I bought it.
I'm really proud of you.
Jordan, how about yourself?
I just said World of Warcraft.
Oh, World of Warcraft. That's right. But what about like because you're like the resident D&D guy as well. Anytime as D&D ever introduce that to people, and they're like,
I had that one D&D thing. I think I invited everybody over and only Jono showed up. So.
No, you canceled.
No. That was recently. This is when I lived in that house that you lived with me in, but it was before you lived there. I think I still have the picture on my phone. Remember, I sent you guys. This was like years ago. I had just bought it. It was like a new tabletop version of it. Anyway, me and Jono ended up playing it. It was pretty fun. It's the one I let you borrow a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I would have been there if there. I bet you there was a death in the family.
Yes, it must have been something.
That makes me laugh. Just picturing Jordan all by himself. Guys, where is everyone?
Jono shows up. Hey.
I brought pizza.
Yeah, he does. He brings the pizza.
There you go. Great question. Thank you very much, Psychotic. I think there's just... I'm lucky that everybody that I know and I'm friends with are pretty down to do whatever I want to do. Or whatever I'm into. Like, they're down to explore.
Yeah. I mean, might as well try it.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
You'll try anything once, you know?
That's right. Great question, Psychotic. Thank you very much for writing in. Next question comes from the man, Barbara Blake himself. He says, with Streets of Rage 4 coming to Xbox, I'd like to know what each of your favorite beat-em-up games are. I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game for the NES.
Oh, I love that one.
Along
That's a good one.
with Double Dragon, Stay
I
Healthy.
love that one. That was a good one.
Double Dragon was mine because I liked being the dude with the knife.
Okay.
Who doesn't like being the dude?
I like doing the press the both buttons at the same time and do the spinning,
Double
kick,
Dragons,
the can kick.
Double Dragons was awesome.
That game was so great.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're talking about like melee smashers.
That
right?
one, and then I think was it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2? I think it was 2 that was my favorite of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And then came Turtles in Time. Remember Turtles in Time? I love Turtles in Time.
Actually, it might have been was Turtles in Time with the van. You had the van in a lot of levels.
No, that was
2. That was 2, right?
No, that was the first one.
No. It definitely wasn't the first. It definitely
That's
wasn't
the
first
top-down one.
Super. No. Like.
With the stupid dam level?
I remember, like, the van is always there, and you've got to jump over it a bunch of times. And anyways,
all
I know is I was always Donatello, and I always just did my
Turtles in Time
air kicks.
Was Turtles in Time the one with the van? I just remember I loved throwing people at the screen.
Turtles in Time was with the van.
So are we talking about like side-scrolling brawlers or any fighting game?
I think we're talking about side-scrolling.
Okay.
Side-scrolling brawlers.
Because fighting games like are stationary.
A more modern version would be Castle Crashers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is a
Castle
great game,
Crashers.
too.
Yeah,
There you
Castle
go.
Crashers is really
Castle
fun.
Crashers is a great one.
And it's cooperative.
And it's 4-player co-op with like an RPG leveling up.
Yeah, it's actually
got
really
everything.
good.
It's got everything. Great question. Thank you very much, Barbara Blake, for writing in. Our last question comes from the one and only AOG War Dog. He says, AOG is here. Hope you guys are doing well as always. First, I'd like to thank you guys for, 1, giving a great response to my question last week. You are very welcome. And 2, keeping all our spirits up during these trying times. Insurgency Sandstorm has been announced to release on Xbox One and PS4
Very
in
exciting.
August.
Very exciting.
What is? I see this everywhere. What is Insurgency
So
Sandstorm? I don't know
it's a team based. Well, it's like how do you explain it?
Use your words. We're here. We can wait.
Because I don't want to. So it's like a modern combat game, right? I don't want to say like Modern Warfare because
like
it's
an Arma?
not arcadey. No, and it's not Arma. Okay. So if you took like Modern Warfare Arcade and Arma Simulation and kind of met in the middle,
okay,
it's kind of
That's
right
Sandstorm?
there. Because
Okay.
it's definitely not as arcadey as like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare, what we're used to, but it's not as like hardcore as I think Arma is like one of the most hardcore games out there, right? It's kind of in the middle, but it's a team shooter. It's really cool. It's super fun. I'm excited it's coming to the console.
Team shooter?
Well, sorry, when I say team shooter, it's like, 5v or like a
Team Deathmatch?
Yeah, team deathmatch type thing. Different game modes like domination, stuff like that, right?
So Insurgency Sandstorm is coming to the Xbox One in August and PS4.
Do you mind if do they have gameplay of it?
Yeah, pull it up. They have the trailer announcing it for the console.
So he says, my question to you guys, he says, with games like War Thunder and Insurgency Sandstorm and even DayZ, could we see other big-name PC games come to console soon? Like Arma or a game like Squad or Postscriptum. With the ability to use keyboard and mouse on consoles, I don't see it being hard to port them over or release a modified version as we've seen with Gaijin do successfully with War Thunder. What are your thoughts? I enjoy the content, gents, and please keep it up. I think with next generation, we're absolutely going to see a lot more PC games. I think that line is going to be blurred. I think it's going to be a lot easier for developers to just say, especially on the Xbox, to just say, yep, let's put it on the Xbox. Why not?
So, it has to be done on the developer side. Like you take a game like Tarkov or Arma, or even a DayZ. There are levels of input that you need, and let's even look at RTS games like a StarCraft. You need a keyboard and mouse to play those games. Right? And I know that we have support for keyboard and mouse and consoles, but it's at the developer level to unlock those. Unless the game is developed specifically to be on a console, I don't see some games coming to console. Like Tarkov.
Some never will.
Tarkov,
but I think I agree with you, but I think we're going to see more. Don't you think so with this next generation, or no?
We're all watching Insurgency Stand Storm. Right
well,
now.
I'm not. I'm thinking
oh.
at Jordan or David's questions. It's hard to say. I honestly think that there are games, like I said, PC games that just can't come to console.
Yeah.
Just by their very nature of the complexity which they bring.
Sure.
Like, could you imagine?
And we're talking input complexity.
Input complexity.
Yeah.
That's the restraining
Yeah.
part of this. I mean, if it's redone and developed specifically for a console. Let's take like a Diablo 3 when they had that released on PC, and then they redid the whole mapping and the input and everything
Sure.
to
Very
have
well.
wheels.
Yeah.
It was done correctly, right? They had to put a lot of effort in to do that.
I'll give you one more. Civilization did a really good job.
Civilization. But you'll take a game like Tarkov where there's a button and modifier buttons for literally everything you can do with a person. I don't see a game like that ever even being considered for a console.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say that hardcore PC developers will see more of an interest going into consoles, I think.
Well, and I think the word console is going to be blurred because I think it's whether or not it comes to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, for instance, or Game Pass Ultimate. And in that case, for instance, when you look at Game Pass right now, you have games that obviously are available on both, playable on Xbox Game Pass, but then you have games that are only available on Xbox Game Pass on PC that you don't get on Xbox Game Pass on. And so I think I think they'll all be available. A lot of games will be available on Xbox, whether or not certain games will come to the console version of Xbox or not is
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's all up to the developer.
But
I'm interested a lot in this question because you have a game by Bohemian that is Vigor, right? And they were just a PC developer,
Yeah.
and then they only released Vigor on a console,
on Xbox, yeah.
on Xbox.
and now Switch coming to Switch.
Yeah, that's interesting from the PC developer side. That's their background,
And they weren't
then
they were the Arma developers.
They were
like
Arma.
a hardcore PC.
That's right. They were the ones who made Arma. So I have no idea how to even gauge this kind of move because it's completely on the developer side, and I don't know why you would choose one or the other besides your pools of consumer. You know what I mean?
Time and effort, you know what I mean, to port that over to a console.
I think David's right. The lines are blurred, and it's more. I think it's more appealing for a developer now to come everywhere, right? I mean, it's what the market wants. I want it, right? If I can play a game anywhere, that's great, right?
Yeah.
I would buy games multiple times if they had cross-save features.
Well,
right?
I think
You know what
this
I mean?
generation we saw a lot of games that had never been. For instance, Paradox Interactive brought out Stellaris on the console and did a really good job porting that over. That's a game built for mouse and keyboard.
But not real time. Like that's more like a tactical. You have time to move the mouse around. The joystick around.
It's not like your clicks per minute don't count. You know, like they do in.
That's why Civilization works too.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
Because you have time to move your input around.
Well, and that's like I think there's more. I think developers have seen that there's a demand for their games in multiple places, right? And I think it's shifted in probably just this last generation. Because if you take a game, let's talk about Counter-Strike. PC
Okay,
only
yeah.
right now. There was and we actually talked about this in one of my streams. I think it was not this last week, but the week before.
Nice plug.
Yeah. So
Jordan.com. It's
yeah.
Jordan.com.
No, they asked the question, would you ever see a Counter-Strike game come to the Xbox? And there has been Counter-Strike games on the console in the past, but they weren't very popular. And I think in today's day, a Counter-Strike game
Would be more
popular
Yeah.
on the console, right? Now I think there, and obviously there's scenarios where like, do you have those games cross-play and stuff? Obviously, there's a lot of stuff there that you have to deal with and talk about. But I just think like you have a game Crossfire X, which is let's just say it's similar to Counter-Strike, but from what I hear, it's a little bit more arcadey, but still has kind of that Counter-Strike vibe. Yeah, coming to console, right? Now it's coming to Xbox, which I actually think. It's going to be on the console, but it's also going to be on the PC, right? But I think there's now a market for those types of games, like those what do they call them? 4X strategy games.
Yeah,
I think
love
there's
those.
more of an audience.
Stellaris is there.
Yeah.
I need me some Crusader Kings.
I think there's more of an audience on console nowadays
Than
than
ever
there
before.
there
Well,
was
and
been, even just
especially-
in like the 360 and the PlayStation 3 era.
Yeah, and
right?
especially going forward, I think we're going to see that even more. But I do think Spicy is right. There are going to and because it's up to the developer, there's just going to be some games that just never come.
And it's easier to develop on a PC. There's a lot less. I mean, that's why Blizzard hardly
Well,
ever releases.
well,
their
you know-
games.
you gotta
There's
give
a lot
no-
less ropes to jump over to cross.
Well, you got to give no thought to controls. Like, oh, we need this guy to be able to throw this special item. Just let's make it T. Okay, it's T. Done.
And the player's going to remap it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like at a level of complexity, having your own platform, or basically what I'm saying is, if I'm a developer and I am on PC and Xbox, let's say Blizzard, for example, they've actually even come out and said the reason we have a PTR on PC and not on Xbox or anywhere else is because it's our own. It's our own
theirs.
platform, and we can just release it whenever we want. Whereas Xbox,
You gotta go
they have
through.
to test and make sure it doesn't break their system and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of more, tape to go through.
Hoops.
Unless you're Activision and Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
Does that?
yeah, and
That
then
didn't seem to go
and
through
then
certification.
then you release a game that breaks your Xbox, everyone's Xbox.
That really didn't seem to go through certification at all.
Regardless,
Blizzard.
that is
Blizzard.
that is a great question.
That's funny.
Thank you very much, AOG Wardog, for writing in. That wraps us up today. While the outro music plays, Mr. McSpicy, what are your plans for the week, gaming wise, via the Xbox? Any big plans? Hotline Miami, you're in.
Yeah, I love Hotline Miami. I'm so excited. The game, for our Australian listeners, we have a lot of Australian listeners.
Mm-hmm.
That game is banned in Australia because of the beginning of Hotline Miami 2, and it's a package deal. So,
Switch your region on your Xbox and jump
hey,
in.
you can do
Yeah.
that, can't you?
And jump in.
Yeah, just switch your region for a day and then download it, and then keep it downloaded while you switch your region
Yeah,
back.
switch back, right?
The thoughts of X1 do not necessarily reflect the thoughts of...
Yeah,
The government of Australia.
This is my individual opinion.
No, I will also be streaming that game. I think I'm only going to stream that game in the next couple weeks and days and
I'm
stuff.
excited.
So just for our Australian listeners, so
There
if
you
you
go.
want to come watch that, but I'll be playing that. So
Jordan the Man, how about you? What are you into?
I'm gonna beat Ori tonight because I'm just right there at the last level.
What are your overall thoughts? You agree with me that it's everything that was good about Ori 1 minus the story. I think the story
Yeah.
was superior in Ori 1.
Well,
But Ori 2, the mechanics and gameplay to me are just improved upon.
well, it's really good. No, I think it's in
the art style,
think-
the level, I think.
I do have to say this. I do think this one is less polished than the first one.
Really?
Yes.
I don't feel that way at all.
You're also.
oh no, who's right and who's wrong?
Yeah, this is interesting.
know.
No, I've had a lot of frame rate issues.
Oh, I have had frame rate
There's
issues.
been like
Yeah.
when animations aren't working properly. I think the first one's a little bit more polished.
I
This
have had frame rate
This
issues.
one is a little bit bigger though. No, it's a really fun game. I'm enjoying. Look, I was actually thinking about this today. I think out of all the gaming genres,
Yeah.
I think platformers are my weakest genre.
As far as taste or as far as ability?
Just say you suck at platformers.
Well, I
wanna
know.
hear
I
it.
think it's a little bit of both. Like, it takes
Yeah,
me a
no,
minute.
that's acceptable.
Yeah, like I think it's like not all platformers appeal to me. Like Ori appeals to me. That Guns game appealed to me.
Guns growing cannoli.
There's a few other games that appeal to me, but
1001 Spikes does not appeal to you.
Yeah, well,
That's
ironically,
the Dark Souls of platformers.
and ability, right? Like it takes me a minute to get used to I think out of all the gaming genres, platformers are my weakest genre, right? But that being said, I have had a lot of fun with Ori, and
It's a relaxing game.
There's
the color palette, the music.
Well, I wouldn't say relaxing, but
I enjoy it. As far as platformers go, that's relaxing. It's a relaxing platformer.
we'll see. And that's the maybe
I'm in the dark web of platformers, Jordan. This game's a relaxing one.
Yeah,
compared
maybe
to the ones I
because
play.
there's like so. Remember, I got really upset with the Ginzo tree in the first one.
Okay.
There's like 4 sideways Ginzo trees in this one.
Dude,
And
I've actually
it's
seen,
intense to me.
I've
There's
actually seen everyone has been recording like when they beat that level, and it is.
Well, which one?
It does look impressive. Well, the one I don't know. You end and you come up out of the desert.
Yeah, okay, that's the third one, and that's the hardest one.
Dude, that one is impressive. When it's done, it's like, whoa.
So I beat that one earlier today, and I posted in the Discord saying, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest, I struggled on that one," and I think a couple other people were like, "Hey, we did too." Like I was like, "Okay, this was actually a legitimate hard level." Like it was hard, but no, it's a really. It's a good game. I think it's worth
solid.
playing, right?
It is
And that's
solid,
coming from me. The reason I told you guys that is because I'm not like a huge platforming diehard person, right? And I really enjoy this game a lot. I think it's a fun game. So.
There you go.
What about you, David?
I'm addicted to Vigor. Like it's an issue. It's a problem.
I almost played Vigor.
Oh, did you?
But then I decided to play Hotline Miami because
That's a
I
really good choice.
I actually slammed my face on my keyboard last night, or was it last night? Yeah, playing Vigor.
Oh, really?
What, you were
Got mad?
streaming?
It was on stream.
You got mad?
I was like, and I just
You're the piano guy on Sesame Street.
I have been loving shootout. I've been loving experimenting with different guns, and it's just a lot of fun. Although talking about GTA 6 makes you want to go back and play GTA 5.
maybe you
a
can
lot.
do like GTA Tuesdays.
GTA Tuesdays.
Liberty City. Go back and play that. The Grand Theft Auto 4.
You guys remember the level in Grand Theft Auto when the guy gave you the drugs and you just like rampaged all the aliens around the city?
Oh yeah, well that's not a level. That's like multiple times. You come across it.
that was like a side.
Multiple-
That guy
that's
was
like a
Best
side
funny.
is when you're Michael and you randomly fly through the city. What's so cool about that is it's being a like intermission of the story up to that point, and you hear all the voices of the story as you're sitting there flying around.
Well, I love Michael's relationship with his spoiled son and his daughter.
Who's
and
playing
when he goes
like
on the mission with his son. Oh, it's
The
so
bike ride?
funny.
You remember the bike ride?
So funny.
They're out in the-
Dang, I was almost done with that game.
Did you gone on a bike ride with him yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had to you're going on a bike ride, and then the sister's like at a porno shoot on the yacht.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that, and you got to go and you go and you kill the people basically. And she's like, "You're stupid," and she's like a spoiled brat.
Well, because they're chasing you on the jet ski. The whole
Jet
the
ski,
game.
yeah. It's hilarious. What a game, man! What a game!
It's a good game.
And it is Franklin, not Lamar.
Yeah, Franklin. We mess up a
Franklin.
lot, but whatever. We just enjoy games.
Yeah. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. We love hanging out with you. Again, we hope you are healthy. We hope you're safe. We hope you're having fun. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, please head over to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe to us there. It really helps the show. Enjoy your week. Enjoy games. I've run out of things to say.
I think they should have a good day.
Oh, there you go. See you guys later.